Today we're going to be dividing fractions using the standard algorithm. Now, I know you've seen that dividing fractions with models has been super easy, and I bet a lot of you have already figured out how to use the standard algorithm. But we are going to take some notes on it today. The most important thing to remember is keep, change, flip. I'm going to say that a million times during this video. You got to keep the first fraction. You have to change the sign and flip the second fraction. Let's go ahead and dive into the very first problem. We've got 5/6 divided by 3. So first things first to remember is that when you have a whole number, that whole number always has to go over 1. So we have our divided by 3. I'm going to go ahead and put that over 1 to remind myself. 5/6 divided by 3 over 1. We're going to keep the 5/6. Go ahead and write it over here. We're going to change that sign. It's going to become multiplication. And we're going to flip the second factor. So instead of 3 over 1, we're going to flip it and have 1/3. So in order to solve 5/6 divided by 3, we're going to say 5/6 times 1/3. So 5 times 1 is 5. 6 times 3 is 18. And you cannot simplify that. So your answer is 5/18. Super easy. Let's go ahead and dive into the next one. 4/8 divided by 2/3. Keep, change, flip. We're going to keep the first fraction. We're going to change that sign. So instead of division, it's going to become multiplication. And we're going to flip the second fraction. So instead of 2/3, we're going to flip that around, and we've got 3/2. So we kept 4/8, we changed it to multiplication, and we flipped 2/3 into 3/2. Now let's multiply straight across. 4 times 3 is 12. 8 times 2 is 16. I know that we can simplify by dividing by 4, and we're going to get 3/4 as our answer. Remember, you can pause the video or rewind it if you need to at any point, but this is going to be super quick. So let's jump into the next one. I'm going to have you go ahead and start doing these, I think. Before you start, though, remember to go ahead and put that 5 over 1. Makes life a lot easier. Go ahead and try this problem. 5 divided by 1/4. For this problem, you should have said 5 over 1 because we keep that the same. We're going to change that division to multiplication. Then we're going to flip this 1/4 into 4/1. Now we just multiply. 5 times 4 is 20. 1 times 1 is 1. 20 over 1 equals 20. So 5 divided into 1/4 pieces, like if I had 5 candy bars and I broke each one into 1/4 pieces, I would have 20 pieces. That's how we would say it using the models that we used this past week. But now we can just standard algorithm. Let's go ahead and dive into the next one. 6/3 divided by 4. 6/3 divided by 4. You might notice that this is an improper fraction, but it doesn't matter. Go ahead and solve it. For this one, you should have kept 6/3. You should have changed the sign to multiplication, and you should have put the 4/1 and then flipped it and have 1/4. 6 times 1 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. We can divide both of those by 6. We've got 1/2. If you're getting different answers than me, make sure you're really being careful with your simplification. I know 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. I could have also simplified by 2 and said 6 divided by 2 is 3. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And we would end up having to simplify that exactly the same way. So I hope you got the same answer I did. Moving on to the next problem. It looks a little bit different. Think about when you have to multiply these fractions, you have to turn your mixed number into an improper fraction. Since we're really changing that sign to become multiplication, we have to do the exact same thing with this one. So go ahead and solve this one. Let me see what you get. For this one, you knew you had to turn the first number into an improper fraction. So we've got 5 times 2 is 10 plus 3 is 13 over 5. Now we kept that. We're going to change division to multiplication. And we're going to flip that 2/3. We're going to have 3/2. Now we have to say 13 times 3. It's going to get me 39. 5 times 2 is 10. But you cannot turn in an answer that's 39 over 10. We have to divide. 39 divided by 10. 10 can go into 39 3 times. That's 30 with 9 left over. That means my answer is going to be 3 and 9 tenths. Make sure you raise your hand if you have a question with any of these, even if you copy down the right answer. If you have a question, I really need to hear about it before we get started on that classwork. Last one. Maria feeds 3/8 of a pound of cat food every day. If she has 12 pounds of food, how many days will it last? Think about what number should be in the front here. Are you dividing the 3/8 of a pound, or are you dividing up the 12 pounds? Because the number that you're dividing has to come first because it is the dividend. So really think about that one. Go ahead and write the equation and try this one out. For this one, you should have said 12 pounds of food divided by 3/8 because you're dividing up that 12 and giving it to the 3/8 pounds each day. You're not dividing up the 3/8 pounds and giving it to the 12 pounds. So in order to solve this one, you should put your 12 over 1. We're going to keep our 12 over 1. We're going to change our division to multiplication. And we are going to flip that 3/8 to 8/3. Good. Now let's multiply. I don't know my 12, so I guess I'm going to have to multiply. 12 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. That's 96 over 3. Again, can't turn an answer in like that. So we've got 96 divided by 3. 3 can go to 9 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 6, 2, 32 is my answer. If you did not get 32, make sure you're going back, double checking your work, seeing if you can make it match mine. And remember to raise your hand if you have any questions. But now it is time to remember to keep, change, flip on your classwork.